Hi, hello. Good morning. Welcome to our Tuesday edition of Morning Inspiration. Our morning Bible inspiration will comes from Proverbs chapter 6 verses 4 to 14. Basahin po natin. Don't put it off. Do it now. Don't rest until you do. Save yourself like a gazelle escaping from a hunter, like a bird fleeing from a net. Take a lesson from the ants, you lazy bones, from their ways and become wise. Learn from their ways and become wise. Though they have no prince or governor or ruler to make them work, they labor hard all summer, gathering food for the winter. But you, lazy bones, how long will you sleep? When will you wake up? A little extra sleep, a little more slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, then poverty will pounce on you like a bandit. Scarcity will attack you like an armed robber. What are worthless and wicked people like? They are constant liars, signaling their deceit with the wink of the eye, a nudge of the foot, or the wiggle of fingers. Their perverted hearts plot evil and they constantly stir up troubles. So yan po ang ating morning inspiration from Proverbs chapter 6 verses 4 to 14. Once again, good morning po and welcome to our Tuesday edition of Morning Inspiration. Yung pong ating yung pong ating podcast kahapon medyo nagkaroon ng konting technical glitches sa last part of it. Pero I believe that we have already uh, provided and stated with clarity yung ating point na kahapon. Yung pong forgiveness, which is one of the reason why sometimes our prayers were not being heard by the Lord. Today naman po, we continue the series of minsan inaakala natin that the Lord is not answering our prayers or yun po and we become disappointed. Like what we always says na sa opening statement natin in the morning that we every day that we wake up in the morning a lot of a lot of matters just came coming into our minds and it filled us up no in the morning pa lamang po and we have a lot of concerns and a lot of things to do on top of our table that occupies and somehow give us an easiness in the morning pa lamang po. And that is why we are saying that we could come to God in prayers, offering our day and allow us to allow God to enter into your lives and in help us in doing everything that is in line of consecutive things that we have to do to win the day. So today po, we will going to discuss another topic po about diligence against procrastination. Po, no po. So minsan po, uh, we come to God in prayers, no po, and we are waiting for the Lord to respond to the answers of our prayers. But let us check ourselves, no po. Kagaya ng po na sinabi natin, minsan meron tayong unforgiving heart that becomes an obstacle, a block po no na nag deprive ng answers to our prayer. Today naman po, we come to ask ourselves, no po. Of course, we come to God in prayers, no po, for all the things that we need, for every details of our daily lives, no po. But somehow we also have to look on ourselves it's just not enough to pray, but somehow, alam po natin yung prayer natin and answers to our prayer. Somehow, God needs our cooperation. And most common than not, yung pong prayer natin, kala natin, isasubmit natin sa Panginoon, and ultimately the Lord will going to put everything on top of our table, on top of our lap, the answer. Pero alam naman po natin yung katotohanan that the Lord's us require us of cooperation to be able to deliver what was needed in answering our prayers. Just like every morning po sa Israelite, we have discussed this already, that in every morning, for the Lord to be able to provide them the manna no po, in the early morning, which only comes in the morning because it is a dew of the morning breeze no po, and it turns out into a manna no po. Kaya po yung mana na yun, it requires time of picking up para sa Israelites. No po. Kailangan nilang gumising ng maaga dahil pag sumikat na po yung araw, wala na po yung morning dew na provide ng early morning. Eh doon po nagmumula yung mana na bubuo doon sa morning dew in the morning. So the Lord provides them to wake up early and gathered. No po? So may action po doon na requirement ng Panginoon. Number one, for the Israelite to wake up in the early morning. Yun po yung number one action na require ng Panginoon. To be able for the Israelite to benefit, to have a manna out of the morning dew. Tapos po, they have to gather. No? They have to gather. Waking up in the early morning, and they have to come out of their tent and gathered. No po? So may action po ng waking up in the morning and gathered. No? So it requires an action, but the Lord had provided. The Lord had provided. Definitely the Lord had provided them with the manna every morning of their lives. No po? Pero ganoon din po sa atin. We could come into God in the early morning because of the so many things that we have to accomplish and the so many things that we need, no, to be able to finish the day victoriously. So we come in prayers to God, no po. But the Lord also require us to take an action just like the Israelites. Ito po yung point of view ng ating morning inspiration. And minsan po yung problema wala sa sagot ng Panginoon. Ang problema po ay nasa action natin. That's why we lack something, or that's why may scarcity, or that's why we are living mediocre kind of living, or wanting no po, or you don't have enough no po, because we lack action. The blessing of the Lord is early in the morning, is present early every morning. Present po yung pagpo-pour out ng blessings sa atin ng Panginoon. But yun nga po, we have to act to be able to enjoy the blessing of the Lord every morning, just like the Israelites. And minsan po, ang kaaway natin dito ay yung sarili natin. And that is what we call laziness. Yung po minsan ang kulang sa atin. But the Lord requires diligence to follow. Diligence, we need diligence to be able to have everything that we have. The Lord promised to supply all our needs in accordance to His riches and glories. But also we have to be diligent in the in getting or making our action available to be able to have those kind of blessing that the Lord will going to provide for a single day. So, ibig sabihin natin, yung action natin means we have to work it out. No? Ang problema po natin minsan yung ating laziness. Nasa atin po minsan yung problema. Yung state of mind natin and state of our body movements that has supposed to be in accordance with the promises of God that He will provide everything. We need to take action. Just like the Israelite, we have to be diligent in getting all the blessings that the Lord will provide in our lives. We cannot be lazy no po, in uh, in our attitude towards life and on everything that we need, no. So ang other words po ng may isa pa po bukod sa laziness, meron po tayong sinasabi ang Bible, yung procrastination. Yung po bang not doing what you have supposed to do on this single day. Dinedelay po natin, sinasabi natin, oh, bukas ko na lang gagawin to, ganyan po. Tapos, yung mga bukas natin, nagkapatong-patong na. Yung pong blessing of the Lord, every worries and every challenges of the day is enough for the day. All the strength and provisions that the Lord will going to provide is enough for a single day. Sabi po kasi, do not worry about tomorrow. Let tomorrow worry about itself. Because today has its own worries na to accomplish. So, nakita po natin, today daw has its own worries and challenges to accomplish. Filled up na po yung day natin. No po. So, pag sinabi po natin today is filled up na po ito, hindi po natin pwedeng yung dapat gawin today ay i-transfer natin tomorrow, bukas na natin gagawin because tomorrow has its own worries and opportunities to face na dapat natin kaharapin. So, yung procrastination po is doing things, delaying in doing things, charging it for tomorrow. So, yung pong procrastination is the act of delaying or putting off tasks until the last minute or past their deadline. Some researchers define procrastination as a form of self-regulation, failure characterized by the irrational delay of tasks despite potentially negative consequences. So yun po yung meaning ng procrastination, delaying or putting off tasks until the last minute or past their deadline or charging it for tomorrow for another day. Ano po? Ah, yun po. So yun po yung ibig sabihin ng procrastination. But ang sinabi po ng ating binasa, no po, sabi po sa verse 4 ng Proverbs chapter 6, don't put it off. Do it now. Don't rest until you do. So yun po yung unang sinabi ng ng ating Bible morning inspiration. Don't put it off. Do it now. Don't rest until you do. Until you do or after you have done it. So, what is on our top list of priorities today? No po? We have list of priorities. Sabi nga natin, in the morning pala, ang dami na natin dapat gawin. When we see the urgency of doing something and we know that the Lord is instructing us or leading us to do this or to accomplish it today, wag po natin siyang ipagpabukas. Yung pagpapabukas nito, despite of the instruction of the Lord that we have to accomplish it today, no po, ay naglilid po ito sa pagsuway sa Panginoon. That leads to procrastination. No po. Sabi po nung verse 5, sabi nasa natin, save yourself like a gazelle escaping from a hunter, like a bird fleeing from a net. No po, so yun po ang sabi. Tapos po sinabi dun sa verses 6 and 7 ng binasa natin, take lesson from the ants, you lazy bone. Learn from their ways and become wise. Though they have no prince or governor or ruler to make them work, they labor hard all summer and gathering food for the winter. Opo, makikita po natin yan sa may mga grupo ng ants tayo nakikita minsan sa loob ng bahay natin. Makikita po natin yung mga ants na may mga bit na mga kung ano man na pagkain na ini-install po nila sa isang lugar. Minsan nakakabuo sila ng parang isang maliit na bundok doon sa isang area. That is where they put their stock, no po. naggagather po sila ng pagkain. Ang sabi po dito, without prince or governor or ruler, it becomes the instinct of the ants to do it. It becomes part of their life. So sa atin po din dapat sabi, dapat matuto daw tayo dun sa atin. Yung ating pong obligation and responsibilities to be able to to have, no, in everything that we need in accordance with God's will, dapat po we work it now. Now, hindi po bukas, now. There are concerns that we need to face and do it now. Hindi po pwede natin isang ipagpabukas. Kaya po sinasabi na na with the Lord's guidance and with the Lord's blessing and and the promise of abundance in our lives, no po, that everything that we need for today will be provided by the Lord. We should work, no po. We should work today, know our priorities today, know what we need to accomplish today, and we have to take action in accordance with those priorities that we have to finish on this single day or every moment of the hour of that single day. Para po after the end of the day ay alam natin na natapos natin yun. And definitely for what we have sown, no, for that day, we will going to reap the fruit of our hard labors. Of course, pag hindi po tayo kumilos, no po, we haven't sown anything, no po, we don't expect to reap a harvest after some time or after this day, no po. Kaya po, we don't expect abundance in our lives because we were not able to accomplish or to sow, no po, for everything that we need, no po. Yung pong sowing natin, the Lord will provide blessing out of that sowing. Just like the Israelite, they have to wake up in the morning and to gather, no po, the manna in the morning. They have to get out of the house and then gathered their own share of manna. So, tayo po sa ating buhay, we need to be diligent, hardworking, to po. Hindi lamang tayo pwedeng mag-pray and mag-intay tayo parang si Juan Tamad na nag-iintay na bumaksak yung bayabas, no po. Kailangan po kuhanin niya yon kaysa intayin niyang bumaksak lang sa bibig niya. So, we need to be diligent in our daily obligation, which is our responsibility in our lives to be able to achieve, ano po, success or to be able to have everything that we have with the promise of the Lord that he will give everything because every morning the blessing of the Lord is always new. Ano po? So yun nga po, we have to take an action. We have to finish whatever it is on our list, ano po, or in our priorities, like going to our work, ano po, or whatever kind of work that we have to do. We have to do it. We have to be motivated, ano po, to do it and have the positive energy to accomplish the sowing of today so that we are waiting or we are anticipating something to harvest because of our hard work for today. So, yun po yung magandang attitude that will securely provide you, no po. The Lord is willing to provide you, but somehow we have our duty, no po. Hindi lamang po siya, sorry, hindi lamang po siya babaksak sa ating mga kamay. Kailangan po natin, the Lord needs our cooperation to be able to receive all the answers for our prayer, all the needs that we need, that we have brought in the presence of the Lord. Sabi po dito, they have no prince or governor or ruler to make them work. They labor hard or summer, gathering food for the winter. Of course, yung mga ant, wala naman po silang prince, governor, or ruler to be able to do this kind of work na nasa kanila na. But of course, kung titignan po natin, even the ants, no po, the Lord had put that already in their being an ant that they will going to do this. So nakikita pa din natin, even sa mga ants, kung ano yung pamamaraan ng Panginoon that provided them na kailangan nilang kumilos. Wala man silang governor, prince, or ruler, but the Lord that provided them already the knowledge, no po, to do it, to survive, no po, yung mga ant. And how much more us, di po ba? Sabi po dito sa 9, binasa pa din po natin, but you, lazy bones, no po, how long will you sleep? When will you wake up? A little extra sleep, a little more slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, then poverty will pounce on you like a bandit. Scarcity will attack you like an armed robber. So, ang normal po nito, yung laziness nga po, yung ang ang laban po dito, diligence against laziness, di po ba? Nakikita natin, no po, na konting pagtulog pa daw po, konting pagkukumot na masarap matulog, and little more time of folding of the hands to rest, poverty will pounce on you like a bandit. Scarcity will attack you like an armed robber. So, minsan po, hindi po problema sa Panginoon yung i-bless po tayo. Ano po? Pero ito po, sinasabi dito, pagkatamad po tayo, no, we don't work. Of course, if we don't work, we don't have anything, we don't anticipate everything to come because we don't work. We don't put an effort, no po, to work, to find a work. No po? So, a little slumber pa po, konti pang sarap sa tulog, a little folding of the hands dahil malamig po, to rest, scarcity and mediocre kind of living, scarcity will come from you. So hindi po kasalanan ni Lord na na in poverty po tayo. So po, tapos po yung scarcity is on our table, wala po tayong ma-present o mailapag sa ating table. And we have a kind of mediocre kind of living. It is because it resonates with our kinds of attitude towards responsibility to accept all the blessing. Hindi po problema ang Panginoon. Ang problema po tayo, yung ating attitude that needs to be coincided and resonate with what the Lord had demand us to be able for Him to give all what we need on our table po. Meron po na tayong nakikita na mga iba't ibang klase level ng pamumuhay, ano po, sa paligid po natin. Nakikita po natin meron tayong higher level of kind of life, no po, yung mayayaman, meron pa tayong middle kind of na lifestyle ng buhay, at meron tayong lower. At ang higit po sa lahat, meron din tayong nakikita na mga tao sa street, like yung mga nagtutulak ng kariton, no po, at iba't iba pa, no po. Pero kung pag-aaralan po natin ang 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 katayuan ng bawat isa sa atin, we could conclude that whatever kind of life that you have, it is our choice and decision. Yun po yung choice and decision natin to have that kind of life. Hindi po kasalanan ng Diyos kung nagtutulak ka o nagtutulak ka ng kariton or whatever. If you belong to yung medyo mahirap po tayo, it is not a problem of the Lord that giving you the blessing. It was your choice and decision. No po. Pero even if na ganun ang choices mo, it's still the presence of God provision is on you. Nasa iyo pa rin yung provision ng Panginoon. What kind of choices of what kind of life that we want to have, nasa atin po ang desisyon because we have the free will, no po, na ibinigay ng Panginoon. So, if we decided to have this kind of life, then you will going to have that kind of life. Kasi yun doon magre-resonate yung action mo, yung yung attitude mo towards working out of what kind of life do you want to have. So doon tatakbo yung sarili mong mga desisyon. But whatever it is that you have decided to have kind of life, the Lord's blessing is nasa iyo pa rin. Kaya makikita po natin yung mga yung mga nagtutulak ng kariton, di po ba? They are happy, no po? They are happy. And still the Lord is providing them with whatever effort that they will put on their lives. Meron pa rin po silang kinakain, no po? Meron pa rin provision ng Panginoon in accordance or approximately on the kind of effort that they have decided to have. Yung wala pong pinipili ang Panginoon, whatever kind of life that you want, you will be provided by the Lord. Kaya nakikita po natin na marami din naman na nasa kariton naninirahan, they are happy, no po, because it was their decision. Yung, at kumakain din naman po sila, at nakikita natin na masaya naman po sila, no po, at nabubuhay sila sa kanilang choice. But the point is, hindi nagkukulang ang Panginoon, whatever kind of choice, of whatever kind of life they want. It was their free will and they have decided to use their free will of having that kind of style in their life. So makita naman po natin, pinoprovide pa rin. At ngayon, nakikita naman po natin na yung mga nagkakariton, yung mga pamilya na yan, nagjo-jollibee din po katulad natin na yung mga medyo mayayaman, no po, nagjo-Jollibee din po yung mga yung mga pamilya na belong to that kind of way of living or lifestyle po. So we could see walang problema sa pagpo-provide ng Panginoon on whatever manner you have chosen to use your free will on what kind of life that you want to have. Hindi po problema ang provision ng Panginoon. Minsan po, nasa atin na pong desisyon yan if we wanted to have another kind of life. Pag yung pong nasa kariton, nag-decide na they want more in their life, imimit din po ng Panginoon yung kung they would like to upgrade their kind of life, imimit din po ng Panginoon yung pangangailangan na yun and the Lord will still provide for that. Kaya hindi naman po sa mga mayayaman, alam naman po din natin na they have worked their way on the top and we could listen to their own stories, di po ba? They put a hard work on it, no po. Whatever they have reached on their life, they have put a hard work for it. Nag-aral po sila, nagtiis po sila, at nagbata. They have put more hours in working to be able to reach where they are now. So it's still the same. It is not a sin to be rich. No po. They are just getting the fruit of their hard labors. They have provided good plans, no po, good action, good step to undertake. They are not lazy. They are working more than resting. Most of the time po, ganyan po yung mayayaman po. And they have enough for them. The Lord provided enough in accordance to what they have put an effort to. No po. Kung ano man po yung decision nila na maabot nila, naabot nila because of their hard works. No po. Kaya po makikita natin in the Lord, in essence, in whatever way that we decided to use our free will in accordance to what kind of life that we wanted, if we wanted yung pong everything that we need is there or uh, you have you could have everything that you want, so you have to work hard po. Kung naman middle class ka lang, siguro po middle din yung response mo sa dahil ito lang yung needs mo dahil sa middle hindi mo naman pinangarap na yumaman, no po, ay yun din yung provision ng ating Panginoon and we put an effort on the level that kind of the level of effort that we put on whatever decision that we have choose to what kind of life that we want to have po. Tayo po ang nagdesisyon nun. So pero yung pong laziness it's not acceptable in the Lord because iyan po ay sarili nating desisyon na dapat po nating baguhin. No po. Ulitin po natin, in every aspect of our lives, in whatever decision, in whatever kind of life that we want, the Lord will surely provide us. No po. If we exercise our free will that we want this kind of life, whatever your choices was, the Lord will going to supply the needs that your decision had gotten you into it. No po. Pero yung pong laziness is not acceptable to the Lord. No po. Sabi nga po dito, a little extra sleep, a little more slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, then poverty will pounce on you like a bandit. Scarcity will attack you like an armed robber. What are worthless and wicked people like? They are constant liars, signaling their deceit with a wink of the eye, nudge the foot, or wiggle fingers. Their perverted hearts to plot evil, and they constantly stir up troubles. Napaka-importante pong isipin natin that the Lord will going to provide in whatever choices and decision that we make, in what kind of life we want. No po. So if we have reached that point na ito yung gusto mong buhay, no po, and somehow, bakit ito yung choice ko tapos the Lord brought me here and your effort also brought you there. But somehow merong kulang. Parang gusto ng sitwasyon na patunayan sa iyo that the Lord is not blessing you kasi kulang. No po. Pero I think it is not true. No po. Siguro there's only I think that you have to think deeper and believing that the blessing of the Lord, whatever your choices was, is enough where you were, where you are. No po. Katulad ng Israelites, no po. Uh, the Lord provides, we cannot argue with that. And even the Israelite cannot argue with the way that the Lord has blessed them. No po. At yung ultimate blessing nga po, they will enter the land of milk and honey. But throughout the journey, no po, hindi po nagkulang ang Panginoon. No po. Even yung mga damit nila at yung mga sandals nila, it was not worn out on the long years of their travel. No po. Uh, hindi pinabayaan ng Panginoon yung kanilang clothing. No po. Hindi po na worn out yung mga damit nila at hindi nasira yung mga tsinelas sila all throughout the journey. Yun po. But somehow, disobedience happened on many times on the lives of the Israelites. They were always found chargeable of committing a sin, especially yung being disobedient to the will of the Lord. Minsan, nandun tayo na sa life na kinakalagyan natin, pero somehow, parang feeling natin is hindi enough yung blessing. Actually, it is your decision that brought you on that on that situation. It is not a question that the Lord lacks blessing, but it is actually on your kind of thinking, and your faith should put higher position, no po, na if the Lord had put me on this, just like the Israelite, exactly on that position, on a strategic position that the Lord had put you in accordance to your wants and needs, no po, the Lord will provide. Minsan, nakikita po natin na parang kulang, di po ba? At may problema pa rin despite of the fact that you know that the Lord had put you on your dreams, no po, because it was your choice. So the Lord leads you to accomplish that. But minsan nandun ka na, pero parang kulang pa rin, just like the Israelites. Siguro po merong mga point dito sa ating kasalukuyang kinakalagyan na mali yung pamamaraan natin. No po. Minsan we are not using the blessing, the provision of the Lord on the right intention that the Lord had provided you those blessings. We should be aware and we should be diligent also in following. No po. na, na itong pagpapala na to ay para dito, huwag mong gamitin sa iba, no? Huwag mong gamitin sa ibang pangailangan. Minsan ay yung we have to identify the needs and the wants, no po. Minsan yung puro wants na natin yon, yung lifestyle mo na over ba, or or you are not just following the what you have at your hand, na dapat mo itong gawin mo na. Kung dapat mo itong ibayad mo na. Huwag ka na maghintay pa ng, yun nga, mag-procrastinate na gagamitin mo muna sa iba bago mo ibayad sa iba. So, that is wrong. Yung provision mo today is exactly perfect for your needs. You just have to use it in accordance to the perfectness of that moment na pinrovide sa iyo ng Panginoon, yung blessing na yan. No po. O, marami pong mga verses sa Bible demonstrating the consequences of laziness. No po. The meaning of laziness in the Bible is multifaceted, impacting one's practical life, spiritual health, and ability to live out God's purpose. The Bible speaks volumes about laziness and its consequences. Verses throughout the Old and the New Testament reveal the heart behind it and provide actionable steps to avoiding spiritual laziness. Sa Proverbs 13, chapter 13, verse 4 po, ang sabi, the soul of a lazy man desires and has nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made rich. So, there is a difference showing two different aspects here sa Proverbs 13, 14. Lazy man's desire and has nothing. May desire siya but he has nothing because he's lazy, no po, hindi kumikilos. But the soul of the diligent shall be made rich. So kung diligent ka naman, in accordance to what you decide na kailangan mo, you work hard. So you will be made rich. Pero pag lazy ka, may mga pangarap ka, lazy ka naman, so it will result to poverty. Walang kakainatnan yun. Puro pangarap lamang yun. And you don't have the ability to sown for what you want to reap. Di po ba? So yun. This verse contrasts a lazy person craving with a diligent person's satisfaction. It highlights the rewarding fruit of diligence compared to the unfulfilled desires of laziness. Yun po yun. Sa Proverbs 21:5 naman po, the plans of the diligent lead surely to plenty, but those of everyone who is hasty surely to poverty. Yun po ang sabi. Solomon teaches the plans of the diligent lead to abundance, highlighting the consequences of laziness in the Bible by contrasting it with the reward of persistent work. Yan. Yun po yung persistent work natin, hard work natin will result to plenty. Pero po pagka nagpe-pray tayo sa Panginoon at the Lord is willing to provide you but you are not taking your responsibility to take a positive action, no po, wala pong mangyayari. You have to be diligent and persistent in getting the Lord's blessing na parati pong nandyan. Sa Proverbs 6:6 naman po, go to the ant, you sluggard, consider her ways and be wise. So, nabasa na po natin yan. Doon sa ating sa main verse, no po. Ito pa po, sa Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 18, because of laziness, the building decays, and through idleness of hands, the house leak. Yun po ang sabi. Solomon gives metaphor for how laziness and neglect can lead to spiritual and physical decay in believers' life. So sabi po dito, because of laziness, the building decays, and through idleness of hands, the house leak. Kuhanin po natin to literally, no po. Dalhin po natin sa reality ng ating buhay. Minsan, meron po tayong dapat na i-repair with a simple repair on hand sa ating pong bahay, no po. Dahil we foresee na pag hindi natin to ni-repair today, it will create a much larger impact na makakasira sa ating bahay, no? So instead of doing it now, no, we have to do it now. Yun ang nasa isip natin dahil may konti pa lang yung damage, no? Pero yung tendency natin na saka na lang natin gawin, no po. And we know that every day that we postpone to repair it, nagki-create siya every day ng mas malaking addition to the kung ano man yung sira ng lugar na yun, no po. So, pag hindi natin siya kinilos, lalaki yung negative effect nung sa pamamahay mo. Pag hindi mo ni-repair o yung pintuan mo o yung bintana mo o yung tubig na na tumutulo no po, pag hindi ni-repair, of course, it will create more problem in our life. So kasi tinatamad ka o pinagpapabukas mo na lang, kaya lalaki yung problema ng bahay. Tapos yung leak ng bubong mo, minsan konting lang ng paglalagay ng anti-leak sa bubong, masosolve yung problem. Pero ang tinatamad ka, nilalagyan mo siya ng tabo na nakasabit para doon sa leak, imbis na pumalik ka sa bubong at tapalan mo yung ng anumang pwede mong gamiting pangtapal. So you delay it o ayaw mo actionan agad. So definitely, yung sira ng bubong lalaki in due time. So lalaki yung problema because of our non-action. And it goes well with some certain areas of our lives that if we know that we are not doing something but the problem is there, and with our non-action of it, lalaki yung problema. No po. At doon, mararatel tayo. No po. Pero in reality, it's not the Lord problem because the Lord's blessing is always there. No po. But our inaction. No po. Yung ating procrastination, yung ating laziness, no po, ang nagiging sanhi ng mas malaking problema upang hindi natin ma-experience ang mga pagpapala ng Panginoon. Sabi po dito, sa Matthew 25:9, for everyone who has, more will be given, and he will have abundance. But from him who does not have, even what he has will be taken away. So ito po yung sabi po ng Panginoon, I am the vine and you are the branches. Apart from me, you cannot do anything. You will not bear fruits. So yan pong I am the vine and you are the branches. Apart from me, you cannot do nothing. So yan po yung isang verse sa Bible na nagpapatunay na yung lahat ng pagpapala ay nasa ating Panginoon, nagbumula sa ating Panginoon. I am the vine and you are the branches. Apart from me, you cannot do nothing. So there is an assurance on that verse that apart from the Lord, we cannot do nothing. So pero if we remain in the branch, if you remain in me and I remain to you, you will continue to bear fruit. So that specific verses in the Bible prove that that the Lord will provide for us if we are always attached po sa Kanya because He is the source of everything. Pero po yung pagiging source ng Panginoon, hindi po yung physical na ibabaksak sa iyo lahat, di po ba? Kung hindi yung pagiging attached to the vine, no po, ay may mga instruction din nakahalo yan for us to be able the glory and the blessing of the Lord. May mga instruction po on how we do that. So lahat po yung Bible kompleto po siya kung how we could experience the blessing of the Lord in us. Only we have to follow the instruction and to take an action on whatever the Lord wants us to do to be able to have a blessful life. Hindi lamang tayo mananalangin, we have to take our own action. Yan po yun. No po. Sabi po dito, pag ginamit natin yung pagpapala ng Panginoon, no po, halimbawa, binigyan tayo ng maliit na pera ng ating Panginoon and we use it wisely, no po, more will be given to you. Pero yung po namang mga nagwawaldas lang ng pera at gumagastos ng pera na walang kapararakan, kung ano pa yung nasa kanila, mawawala pa, kukuhanin pa ng Panginoon. Kaya po, meron pong meron pong salita na minsan yung pera, it is in our ability to use the money, how many times you use the money. Parang makita po natin yan yung ating ability na kung magkano yung pera mo, kung 5 piso lang yan, uh, still 5 piso yan, or piso, pero yung ability mo on how you would use that 1 peso, or 5 peso, or 10 peso, or 100, or thousands of peso, how much you will going to use it to be able to earn more, no? That is one good way of dealing with money. We use the money and we instruct that money to be to be of use to us in many different ways. That is good, no po. Kesa po yung pera ang siyang nag-uutos sa atin, no po. Uh, we could instruct the money to be used more in our lives than the money instructing us, di po ba? So yun po yun. Pero pong when we talk about the blessing of the Lord, papasok po dito yung good stewardship of all the blessing of the Lord. How many times in your life, with a single blessing of God, how many times you use it, you multiply it, yung pong talents, yung pong gifts ng Panginoon, yung pong blessing ng Panginoon. If we manage to use it in so many ways, and that is being a good steward of God's blessing. Ayan po. So yun po yung ibig sabihin natin sa Matthew 25:9, for to everyone who has more will be given, and he will have abundance. But from him who does not have, even what he has will be taken away. Ano po? So, meron pa rin po sa 1 Timothy 5:8, but if anyone does not provide for his own, and especially for those of his household, he has denied the faith and is worse than the unbeliever. So, yan po. Tapos, meron pa po sa 2 Thessalonians 3:11, for we hear that there are some who walk among you in disorderly manner, not working at all, but are busybodies. No? Yun po minsan. Minsan pangarap tayo ng pangarap, daldal tayo ng daldal, salita tayo ng salita. Pero wala naman po tayong work. No po? Pero po sinasabi na dreamer. Diba? Yung dreamer po yung tao na yun. Alam niyang mangarap, pero hindi naman niya alam kilusin ang kanyang mga pangarap. Handang ibigay ng Diyos yun, pero if you're not doing something for that to become into a reality, hindi po mangyayari. Dreamer po ang tawag doon. Sabi po dito, this scripture indicate that idleness can have harmful physical and spiritual consequences. Although this example may seem discouraging po, but with our life in Jesus, there is always a way to experience victory over laziness. No po. This is more than warning against physical inactivity. It is a spiritual metaphor. Laziness lures us into complacency, distracting us from our God-given calling and purpose. Throughout Scripture, verses addressing laziness consistently advocate for a life of diligent stewardship and active faith. No po. Sa Romans 12:11 po, warn us not to be lagging in diligence, but fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. Constructingly, the world often view laziness as a benign, even humorous character flaw. The secular advice may range from self-help tips to accept laziness as part of human nature. However, for the Christian, laziness is not simply an inconvenience. Ano po? Hindi po siya convenience sa tinuturo ng Bible base po sa binasa natin dito. However, the Christian laziness is not simply an inconvenience. It is a spiritual impediment that distance us from maintaining an intimate relationship with God and those around us. So, how we overcome laziness in as Christian? Number na, na, number eto po sa John 5:5. I am the vine and you are the branches. Who abide in me and I in him bears much fruit. For without me you can do nothing. For we may have every good intention to stop being lazy. Find motivation and complete the work before you with excellence. But your effort would always fall short if you do not abide daily in Christ and depend on Him to fight this battle. To fight and overcome laziness, believers must recognize that it will take hard work, perseverance, and dependence on God. Use ito po yung 5 ways on how we overcome laziness and procrastination. Number 1 po, pray to God. Number 2 po, ask for guidance in determining our priorities. Ito po, napaka-importante po dito. Yung determining our priorities. Which, minsan we have a lot of things to do. And we end up, we have done nothing at all because there are a lot of things to do. And suddenly, at the end of the day, we find out that we have did not done anything at all. Ito po. So, maganda po na may priority level lahat ng dapat nating gawin. Ano po yung pinaka-priority over the other that we have to accomplish for the day. Para po, maisa-isa natin ang lahat ng mga dapat in accordance with the priority of every task that was on hand on this single day. Sabi po, ask God for guidance in determining your priorities. Number 3 po, establish accountability in godly community. Of course, with every part of member of the public family, we have to talk, no? Especially if, of course, everyone in the family should cooperate with every task that was on hand because of the family. Ito po, yung organization ng family. Each of us should be responsible for one another in accomplishing the priority that was assigned to each and every part member of the family. Ito po. Start with a small step. If there are enormous tasks ahead, no po, let us not be overwhelmed with it. But a small step, no po, could help us to reach the goal of finishing a single task, a single priority of the day. Let us start daw po with small things rather than not doing anything at all. Or rather, di bali ng maliit na step, no po, kesa wala kang step na gagawin. No po. And number 5 po, strive for progress, not perfection. No, lahat po tayo parang may sakit tayo ng being perfectionism. But in eliminating the possibility of being lazy, yung pong we are after the progress, we are not after the perfection no po, ng task at hand. Yung progress po, meaning nga po, yung sinabi natin, a little step prioritizing, no po, praying for that priority and take a small step to be able to do it. We may not able to do it perfectly, but that is not the goal. But the goal is to be able to make a little progress for whatever task on hand that we need to accomplish to be able to receive the blessing of the Lord. No po? Yun po. So, makita po natin na in all our prayers to God, no po, we can come to the Lord in confidence that He will going to answer and He will going to give all the blessings that belongs to us this morning. And we could claim that. We could claim that with confidence, no po, because the Lord is willing to give it to us, no po. Every little things that we need to, that we are asking from Him. But the point is now, as a receiver of God's blessing, to be able to receive those blessings, we have to make an action. Be in constant partner with the Lord, no po, with His direction of what we should do to be able to get this, no po. We need to be in partnership with God to be able to receive and to experience God's blessing in our life. Pero remember po, the Lord will lack nothing. Whether it is direction how to accomplish or how to receive those blessings. We just have to have the minds of the Israelite that to be able for them to get the manna, they have to wake up in the morning and they have to go out of the house and pick up the manna that they need to be able to survive. The Lord will always be uh, abundant, have abundant blessing in our lives. We just have to stay connected with Him, no po, and we can be assured that everything that we need will be provided by the Lord, no po. So let us practice diligence in every areas of our lives in connection with what we need, no po, with God giving it to us. And let us set aside or eliminate laziness and procrastination, no po, and change it and practice diligence in every part of our lives. Maraming pong salamat sa araw na ito and God bless po. Have a fruitful uh, day ahead of us. God bless.